All right, welcome to Boco Preps TV. I'm Josh Lindenstein. This is Pat Rooney. We're here today going to talk about a couple of the bigger prep sports events of the winter calendar. Boulder County Invite Swimming, Pat, and Top of the Rockies Wrestling Meet at Centaurus. Pat, let's talk about the swimming first. You're going to be out there on Saturday for the finals. What do you see there, and what do you like?
Yeah, Saturday, 3 o'clock, South Boulder Rec Center. Obviously, the team race between Fairview and Boulder is the number one thing. Looking at two teams that are probably going to be fighting for a top 5, maybe even top 3 spot at the state meet next week, so it'll be a nice little primer for that. Obviously, both squads loaded. Things to look out for, both relay races, or I should say all 3 relay races between those two teams. Should be fun to watch, as well as the 500 freestyle. Amanda Ritchie from Boulder, Abigail Hauk went 1-2 last year with Hauk winning. Hauk also edged her at the coaches' invites earlier this year, although Ritchie closed the gap. So it'll be interesting to see how those two go at it this weekend. And then also, obviously, in diving, we got Ariel Moser from Niwot that will be out trying to look to defend her crown there.
At the wrestling tournament on Saturday, Top of the Rockies, always a big event. They've got 8 out-of-state schools coming in this year, Pat, more than they've ever had. Word's starting to get out that this tournament's a pretty big deal. Locally, Broomfield, Centaurus, Legacy are all going to be at the tournament. Broomfield, a couple of guys in particular with shots to really do well. Phil Downing at 138 pounds, last year's 119 champ in Class 4A. He could have a real neat match with a kid from Grand Island, Nebraska, who's a 3-time state champ, Andrew Reedy. So that should make for a fun weight class there. Nick Babcock at Broomfield, also a chance at in those middleweights, 145 or 152, depending on where he lines up. Is going to be facing some real tough guys. Always multiple state champions squaring off at that meet. Pat, looking forward a little bit, let's talk about some basketball. What are some things you see? We're kind of in the heart of the league seasons now. Teams are really starting to make their push. What things have you seen going forward, maybe from the Longmont area? Well,
first of all, Longmont High School obviously has done a great job replacing 4 starters this year. But it's been a little up and down. They've recently suffered losses to a couple of the front runners in the Class 4A Northern League, and this Friday they will be at Thompson Valley. It'll be interesting to see how the Trojans respond this weekend. Similar situation with the Silver Creek girls. Really balanced squad and have had a pretty interesting start to the season so far, but again have kind of dropped recent decisions to a couple of the front runners in their league. Schedule's a little more favorable for the Raptors over the next couple weeks, so it'll be interesting to see how they get their act together and respond over the next few weeks. And then finally, in the Tri-Valley League, we got Frederick is hot. They've won 3 in a row, and you know, that league, obviously Sterling and Windsor are the front runners. It's going to be an interesting race for 3rd place in that league. And the way Frederick's going, kind of getting things together, getting a little momentum going, they should be right in the thick of things. They've got an interesting one this week at Windsor. Tough challenge, but the Warriors are playing well right now. On the Boulder Valley side of things, basketball-wise, Monarch, really making a strong statement. Doesn't look like anybody maybe will touch them in the Front Range League, Pat. Alexis Johnson, forward, going to Grambling State. She seems to put up 20 points and 10 rebounds every game. And then on the boys' side, Fairview won 11 straight, I believe, since the season opening. Lost to number 5 Thunder Ridge. They're looking real strong, have a very balanced group. And then you've got teams like Broomfield, boys and girls, Centaurus girls, making a push in the Northern League. So we'll see what happens in those races as well. Well, it's a fun time of the season. The basketball race is heating up. You know, as you mentioned, the Top of the Rockies tournament is obviously turning into one of the marquee events of the wrestling season. So it's definitely a fun time of the year with the winter sports heating up.
We'll be back to talk more next week. Thanks for tuning in, and hope you guys get out and catch some action this weekend.